Hey, this is Matt from That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures overanalyzing manga we find interesting, otherwise known as the Over Manga Cast. This week, we're following someone with a crush who needs to defeat 11 evil exes so that she can finally be with the boy of her dreams. Sounds vaguely like Scott Pilgrim, but no, it's Oddman 11 by Douman Seiman, chapters 1 through 25. It goes in a weird direction. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and as always here at the top of the show, we talk about our familiarity with the franchise that we read this week. No idea. Never heard of it before now. The art style looks vaguely familiar, but then again, it's so basic that I don't think that even counts. So yeah, that's it. Matt, how about you?
I know it's by the same person who did the Voynich Hotel. Other than it being recommended when we were looking up manga to read, nothing about it. So,
all right, Jay, how about you?
Not a clue. This was completely a fresh take, fresh read.
And Jacob.
I heard about it first from my co-host when we were talking about what to read. It was pitched to me as Rule 63 Scott Pilgrim, except it gets really gay really fast. Like, that sounds like all things I like. So yeah, let's read it. Technically, that's what we got. all of the things that I said do technically happen.
In the strictest sense of the word, yes.
I mean, like, it's if you go to a sandwich place and you want a PB&J and then you're upset you got a Reuben, like, well.
I know people who would be upset by that.
I should have been more specific.
That's how sad my life is, but here we are.
Anyway, we get off to a real strong start with this manga with a man getting pissed on.
Yes. And that's not an exaggeration, readers. Literally opening scene.
Yep, it's panel number 3.
Some would say it takes a great deal of courage to let your audience know exactly what they're getting into on page 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The balls on this.
Mm-hmm. You know, I can't fault the manga for that. It definitely does not...
It doesn't hide what it is.
There is very little subtlety here.
Yeah.
There are no strong metaphors.
I was looking for some more impactful words, but nah, you guys really got it, really hit the nail on the head. This manga is very base in that regard.
Very based. You're right, Sam.
It's not what I said. You added an extra syllable there.
I don't think that's how syllables work.
All right.
So yes, we are introduced throughout these first few chapters to the eponymous Oddmen. Oddman number 3, the man getting pissed on. His name's Itami. He's the only dude amongst the Oddmen. And each of the Oddmen has their own extremely overpowering personality quirk. I say overpowering because it appears to bend the rules of time and space. In some instances, Itami's is that he is a masochist. So that's pretty simple. I get that. We also learn that the pisser, Oddman number 2, is the sadist and also his sister.
Gotta get that fetish in real quick.
Yeah, this manga is just a collection of tags, and honestly, I feel like if I had known that going in, I would have been less. I still would have been surprised, but like.
They already had the tags figured out, and they were just working backwards of okay, who am I assigning this to?
We meet a few more odd men. The one who will be one of the more prominent ones who will show up a lot is Oddman number 5, Shiraishi, who is a slut and also a cat girl for inexplicable reasons. I'm not complaining.
You know the reason.
Not shaming. She self-identifies as being a slut, and she's very proud of it. So,
you know what? More power to her.
I'm more concerned that she is a cat girl for no reason in addition to her power. More importantly, there is an Oddman who is a dog, and that is her power.
Yeah.
I didn't even really think that they were powers per se.
Powers is probably an inaccurate term. It's literally they have a personality trait that overpowers them.
But I mean, is it really their personality? Some of it's just literally just attributes.
Well,
that go outside of their personality.
Yeah, it's something they don't have control over is the thing. It's
Yeah, there's really a good word to describe it in that regard.
Yeah, because sometimes they treat it like an affliction, sometimes they treat it like a superpower.
It's what you make it to be. But they're pretty odd individuals.
Yeah, they are odd men, except they're not men, except for one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we also meet another one of our more regular characters, Oddman number 7, the Streaker. Although I hesitate to apply that term because Streaker implies that you intentionally take off your clothes to cause shock. No, she's just a nudist.
Yeah, that's actually a misnomer. She is very, very proudly never clothed herself in any way, so the shock value's gone.
She's got a hairband. She has one piece of clothing.
Which is so sweet. I love the story behind it, but we'll get to that later. She
Indeed.
looks so innocent. Her introduction is so innocent, so harmless. She is not an innocent nor harmless individual.
Yeah, I think that's the gap moe. But yeah, we have this parade of character introductions. This is all couched within one girl learning about the Oddmen. And for reasons beyond my ken, she learns that Itami, Oddman number 2, has dated every other Oddman, but broken up with each of them within a month. And 2 of her friends, random passerby, 2 other girls, say, "Hey, you seen Scott Pilgrim? You should fight the other Oddmen and start dating him." And Itami's like, "There's no reason for her to fight." And she's immediately like, "Yes, I'll do it."
Which, to be fair, you've seen Scott Pilgrim, is also the plot of Scott Pilgrim.
I mean, yeah.
They do basically just say, we're gonna do a Scott Pilgrim. Okay, we're gonna do a Scott Pilgrim, and then they do a Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although I will say, Itami is very has great taste in one regard. Well, several, but in one regard, in that he lost his virginity while playing Drakengard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was about to say that's they're all talking about how they lost their virginity, and it's is that the Streaker Godiva, who's just like, oh, they find out later it was her based on her story. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, Shiraishi was the one who kind of was facilitating the whole, all right, let's talk about our first experience, our first sexual experiences, because that's totally how we do icebreakers now.
That's how she does icebreakers, because that's literally all she can talk about. Like,
Yeah. I also don't think nudist girl's name is actually Godiva.
It's not. No, that's just a nickname some people give her because Lady Godiva.
I legitimately wasn't sure because this manga's relationship with names is tenuous at best.
Yeah.
Well, they mostly go by their Oddman name is the thing, or like
yeah.
Because I'm not even entirely 100% sure we know what Oddman 7 the Streaker's actual name is. I don't recall it ever being mentioned.
It's listed at the end of the volume, but I don't know if it ever gets named.
Yeah.
Who knows? All we do know is that Oddman number 2 is the final boss, because as a sadist, she is simply too powerful to be taken on head first.
Also, because she's a very loving older sister, no one is ever good enough for her brother.
Yes.
Because we got to check that box. This is the kind of series that does that on purpose, so...
Yeah. Look, the first page of this is piss play. Like, you've either checked out at this point or you haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, in the manga's fairness, it's not eroticized. In the context of the characters, it is eroticized.
But yeah, no, it's not eroticized for the audience. It's all played for an absolute joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just whether or not those jokes land, your mileage may vary. Because there are a couple of places where I think that this is pretty freaking funny. There are other places where I was not enjoying the sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, let's meet our next Oddman, who actually did have a joke that I enjoyed. Fujo. The unclean Oddman number 9. She has literally never once in her entire life done anything hygienic. Right down to wiping her ass or brushing her teeth. And I'm like,
I love how she's introduced in an empty hallway and they've got the shonen action mist, but it's literally her stank.
yeah, that's good.
Because she's got that sort of vibe of like powerful psyker character sort of thing going on.
She looks like a Hex girl from Pokemon.
Yeah, except instead of sending out a ghost type, she uses the
ghost of all the stinky
toxic
things
on you instead.
Our main character, as of yet unnamed, rolls up on her like, I'm challenging all the Oddmen to a fight, so I put on this punk jacket and I have a 7-branch sword. Let's battle. Wait a minute, you stink literally so bad that my nose is now broken.
Yeah, she gets one shot by Dank Girl taking off her shoes.
Yeah.
This is where we get the point of we find out later her first name is Harumi, and that's the name they refer to her most often as. Number 5, the slut. She ends up starting to like kind of coach our protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I will say I think the most natural relationship in the manga is between those two. Because like a lot of it is like intentionally fast tracked for the sake of jokes, but like they actually like have a dynamic to them.
You mean Setsu and number 5?
Yeah.
Well, because it starts off as her mocking her for like, hey, wait, you think you're good enough for a Tommy? Nah.
I'm gonna show you why you don't stand a chance, but
oh wait, you're actually trying. You've got some gumption. I guess I'll help you out. You know, I like Shiraishi, number 5. She's a fun character.
Yeah, because her entire vibe is she's really possessive of whoever she's in a relationship with. And the fact that the breakup was not her, it wasn't a Tommy, it was his sister decided to break them up. She's like, whoa, no, that's not how this ends. This ends on our terms, not on an outside force.
Yes.
Which makes you wonder, like, did they find that out initially, or was that something that was revealed like somewhat later on, that it was the sister who was interfering in all of his relationships? And also, why would she allow the relationships to proceed anyway? Like, even a month into
you're expecting a bit too much logic into that.
I mean, she says that because she's the one who tells both the audience and Setsu that his sister is the one breaking up the relationships.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like they don't say it outright, but they imply it heavily enough, and then they do later, like much, much later in the reading. She gets explicitly referred to as the sister.
What? No, it's literally in this chapter. His sister forced each one of them to break up with him. She wants to monopolize her younger brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they don't attach that to the sadist yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the picture of the sadist is identical to her, but yeah, whatever. Because it's girl with long black hair and smiling. That's the same girl from the first chapter, right?
I'm confused. What are we confused about?
We're not confused. I'm just saying, as far as like reading, like, I don't know at what point the reader is supposed to connect the two. I'm not saying the two weren't connected. I'm saying, like, at what point was that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess technically they don't explicitly make that connection. I'm just...
Yeah, no, it's relatively obvious, the connection. They just don't say it until later. Okay, yeah. But it doesn't matter. We weren't entirely sure when the main character's name was first mentioned, so...
They just kind of sprinkle it in there, and it's whether or not you, like, pick up on it, that they, like... Yeah, it's...
To be fair, the main character's name doesn't really matter for these first chapters, because she's just protagonist. Like...
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine with that. Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, time for Jake's favorite character, Kazdag.
I love the dog Oddman because it's got my favorite trope in fiction of hey, let's make anthro dogs. So how many nipples?
Yeah.
This bit is really funny.
Yeah, this is pretty top tier.
I'm just saying, Sam, you love the Elder Scrolls. So Khajiit. How many?
How do they work?
Okay, what phase of the moon were they born under? And which moon?
I forgot Khajiit are dumb.
Which phase of the moons were they born under? That is their determinator.
What one makes them house cats with human faces?
I forget the actual answer, but I know that is one that happens.
This is terrifying, and I do not feel at ease knowing this exists.
In the Elder Scrolls, two human-looking people can have a house cat with a human face as a baby.
That's terrifying.
Khajiit is
Not to be trusted, yes.
Not to be trusted. I like the Khajiit.
But anyway, we got Oddman number 1, the dog, who is I love her initial bit.
Her name is Inu something because dog.
Inuta.
Yes.
And she is doing laps in the pool.
Doggy style.
There is an entire bit where she comes out of the pool to like challenge Setsu to a fight because they're like, yeah, no, I understand how this works. You want to date a Tommy, you got to go through all of us. And she's wearing a bikini. And I know what, dear listener, you're realizing. That is 4 too short.
How dare you? You're gatekeeping her clothing, and I do not appreciate that.
Setsu is freaking out about this, and I'm like, Setsu, you were hanging out with number 7. One would think you'd just be used to female presenting nips out and about like this.
Also, to be fair, it does look like she has normal like breasts, and then it's just 2 additional canine sets of nipples.
Yeah.
In service to the joke, it's as weird as possible.
I gotta say, this is probably my favorite joke in this entire manga, is this entire bit about the bikini, because it's just like, Inuta at no point is insane. She's very reasonable, and you're constantly going like, no, baby, I know this is weird, but I think Setsu's in the wrong.
Yeah.
Because the there is the whole bit of it's like, wouldn't a school like full body bathing suit make sense? It's like, why are you telling me what to wear?
Oh, because I'm a dog, I have to wear what you want? I'm like, fair point. Fair point.
Dogs are to walk around naked.
But the thing that solidifies the absurdity is Inuta's like, so anyway, I'm not much good in an actual fight, so let's do a different challenge instead. Finals are coming up. Whichever one of us has the higher test score is the winner, and the loser has to show their nipples. Wait, but you were... But okay, challenge accepted.
Remember this, because I love the payoff for this joke as well.
Wait a minute. I just noticed something. Setsu goes to start studying, and in her continued Cheshire Cat role, Shiraishi is there to mock her.
Yes.
Shiraishi has headphones on, presumably listening to music, except the headphones are positioned on where human ears would be.
Ah, yes, that trope.
Her cat ears do not have headphones on, so I can only presume that she is a Joe Cat type with 4 ears.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought up the different types of cat girls, because this is a question that is brought up many a time of whether or not...
I'm not doing a value judgment here. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying that these are important distinctions you need to make for individual preferences.
Yes, that is correct.
I'm just saying, don't make a biological decision as an aesthetic choice and then fail to realize the amount of redesigning basic like functionality of everything you're going to have to do.
Cat girls executed where they have been able to kind of work in the headset, so they actually look, normal or whatever, and so that every bar is hit. It's just kind of, you just have to commit to one. But I know, based on the various jokes that we've already uncovered in our reading, that is fully within their wheelhouse. It was a choice, is what I'm trying to say. Yes. I guess.
But thankfully for Setsu, Shiraishi, on top of being extremely slutty, is also extremely smart. She will repeat this several times and offer to coach Setsu for the upcoming finals so that she can win this challenge. Why?
It's another reason why ladies hate her, because she's not only a slut, but she's a smart slut. The worst kind.
The greatest opponent.
She has no weaknesses.
Also, she just really wants to screw over Inuta because cats and dogs.
Yes, it's so cute.
But before they can go studying, they need to rent some porn.
You're expecting Shiraishi to go like 4 hours without porn?
Yes, we were asking too much.
No, that's entirely expected.
And she can't decide on what kind, and then Setsu, ever the no thoughts, head empty protagonist that she is, you could just get both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
You're right, I hadn't thought about that. Anyway, wait a minute, aren't you a high schooler? You're underage. How can you rent porn? Oh, it's because I'm an odd man.
Oddman status just means you can do whatever you want, and no one could question you ever, because, yeah.
I even have a card that just says H. You know what? Forget it. I don't want to know.
I have a card. I do what I want.
It literally just says that.
they do study for like an hour, and then they watch a feature-length porno, at which point Shiraishi gets incredibly bothered because they ruined.
Yes, they did not execute it appropriately, and she's like, "Oh my god, how can they even?"
They did the fetish wrong in the film. If you're doing a foot thing with stockings, you don't put lotion on.
Yeah, you don't. Because they were dark, like black, like stockings, and they put lotion on it, which completely ruins the aesthetic. So it's just like, what the hell are you doing? That's gross.
And I'm sitting here like, while I don't understand the particular thing you're going for, I do understand the need for aesthetic. So I side with you on this one, Shiraishi. They should have done it right.
You are the expert on this subject.
I mean, just think of any movie we've watched together, Sam, when you just yell at the screen and be like, what the hell is this shit?
I feel the need to state that No Read November is in no way pornographic in nature.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, damn it, you
Nor will it ever
it.
be.
Eventually, we're going to run out of movies, and we'll need to start getting creative.
At that point, you go to Patreon over MangaCast for Over MangaCast After Dark.
Anyway, let's challenge number 7, who has the most JoJo ass superpower I've ever seen. Because apparently,
I mean, it's fitting that we recently read the Pillar Men showing up.
Mm-hmm. Because Shiraishi pointed out that number 7 and number 11 are the most threatening ones outside of number 2, the sadist.
Mm-hmm.
And we learn why Little Miss Nudist is so scary when they are playing table tennis, because she gains super muscles, yeets the the friggin' paddle with enough force to like dent Setsu's skull and throw her across the gym.
Oh my god, and there's blood like already from the paddle, just like freaking puddles of blood. Oh my god.
I love this nonsense because it's not that she has an odd man power for super strength. It's literally being naked all the time gives you super strength.
Because when you're embarrassed, your muscles tense up. And when you're naked, you're the most embarrassed. So,
plus, she doesn't have pockets. So she has no money for public transportation. So she has to jog everywhere. So she's in super shape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'm just like, this entire bit is Scott Pilgrim.
I appreciate the commitment.
This is a vegan diet gives you psychic powers.
Yes. Not the fact that she also starts like hulking out and just like, I'm going to beat you to death. Mm-hmm. Because how dare you try to take my man?
I do like at the beginning, the gym has a do not enter people sign. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to have on a gym. Oh, no. This is her place.
She has claimed it. It is her lair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Specifically, even though she's an ex from whatever the dude's name is, he doesn't actually matter all that much. She's not over him, so that's why she's feeling a bit defensive relative to
a bit. She killed Paul.
It is a little bit
to like death. Oh, if you happen to be alive.
Yeah, slightly.
Don't show yourself in front of me ever again.
It's also not necessarily Atami is the whole deal here. She's taken out a lot of pent-up aggression about other things.
That's true, too.
But this is why I say that the Oddman powers, or the Oddman attributes, seem to have some sort of time and space bending properties, because you could just put a shirt on.
No, she can't.
No, she can't, Sam. How dare you?
Okay, I guess.
I think that's legitimately it, is the Oddman powers is...
You can't do the thing.
Whether it's psychological or supernatural, we do not know.
I'm going to assume magic nonsense. Like, this is...
What, like, for the ones who have actual, like, physical chain alterations, I get that. But it's like, if Fujo, like, tries to go in water that would wash some of the filth off, does the water just evaporate?
Oh, you're saying if whether or not...
Oh, technicalities. Like, if it rained...
Oh, yeah. You're saying, is their power like is it a psychological block or is it some kind of curse upon them?
Yeah.
I'm just saying if Fujo just happened to be outside in the rain, he just happened to like throw some soap at her.
her stink would overpower the soap. Like I
don't know.
That's a question that I'm relatively certain will never come up. Just like the coda to this chapter, where Setsu goes to her favorite comic shop and she gets a healing factor.
Yeah,
Yes.
she turns into Wolverine while she's sulking at her favorite comic store.
Hey, I understand this feeling. It's like, this is my happy place. It makes me feel safe. Holy shit, your wounds are starting to heal.
You also be an odd man.
Oh,
maybe?
maybe. We don't get a definitive answer.
It's probably never going to come up again.
Oh, we got a nipple close up again because nipples. That's the wager.
Yeah, this is the we next get to the culmination of the apparently the podcast's favorite bit of the reading.
It's just it's got rule of threes. It's a callback. It's just
it's really funny.
And the whole deal is they have the prize, and the prize was they have to show the other their nipples, and the whole deal is Anuta's already flashing because her shirt's too low. And it's just like there's a whole back and forth bit about how they're not less valuable because they're canine.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
And it's like a miscommunication because that's not what Setsu's complaining about.
In fact, she's agreeing they are not less valuable. That's why you cover them.
Oh yeah, Setsu also completely clowned her. Like
Yes.
Setsu was ranked 38 out of 152, while Anuta was ranked 126. That's
I was about to say, my girl picked a contest of academics and then ranked 128th.
Yeah. And it's like, wow, I didn't expect to actually win that hard. Shiraishi, you were right. Your training really helped. Told you, smart.
It was all Shirashi's training. That's the sad thing. I think Inuta just really overestimated her intelligence.
Well, no, the whole thing is just because she's wearing glasses doesn't mean she's smart.
I didn't even make that connection, honestly.
Well, that's what Shiraishi says. She then flashes her second set of nipples.
Yes, she does.
Which she already showed at the pool.
Yes. She already showed it. Well, not everything, but she already showed it.
But now she's being all bashful about it because it's like the context has changed it. You understand?
Sure.
And Setsu literally says, "I'm just tired of seeing your nips, girl. Just stop."
Anyway, we get to the way that Setsu actually defeats Fujo, which is my favorite bit because we learn that Fujo's stank is so bad that everyone this gets to a thing like a little like thorn in my side about Oddman 11, where it's like, yes, this is funny, haha, comedy series. Look at all these sex jokes. There are moments where I feel like the manga is really trying to force me to feel bad for characters. And like the curses that the Oddmen are under are great fodder for that. But I feel like the whiplash between look at all the wacky hijinks these cause and what a cursed existence we lead, feel bad for us. It doesn't work for me, except for here where Fujo has to eat lunch alone because everyone is driven away by the stank. So Setsu comes in with a gas mask and then slams the gas mask onto Fujo's face and is like, "You're so used to your own toxic cloud. I bet clean air is just as terrible, is the equivalent of your stink to you." And that works. She breathes clean air and it defeats her.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
And we learned that Setsu is sentient from Warframe because she adapted to the damage.
Adapted to the
that's why I was confused. I'm like, is she actually defeated or is she just?
I think her nose actually got broken,
and she just can't smell now.
Yeah. Well, they have nose blindness.
They explicitly say that she can smell. It's just Fujo's stank doesn't bother her anymore.
Yeah, it's nose blindness.
Yeah, she got fully absorbed by the odor and now she can't smell it anymore. Like it's
I think the thing with the tonal dissonance, because I noticed this too, and it didn't actually grate on me nearly as much as this sort of thing normally does, because normally this kind of thing infuriates me, and I think it's because of the ratio of it. I just felt kind of meh about it overall. There was an idea here of potentially playing it maybe not necessarily straight, but straighter than they did. And there's this sort of you can't criticize me, I'm a joke series, you can't criticize me, I'm a parody attitude that certain series will take that I usually find way more frustrating than this. This is so far in the camp of not taking itself seriously. The occasions where they tried to play a character interaction straight, I didn't like. It was so fleeting, I couldn't be bothered to care about it, but that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, and I guess I'll be the third side of this triangle, whereas I never really felt it was even a tonal whiplash. I feel like it's always kind of lighthearted and playful. There is an underlying current of you are supposed to know that the Oddmen don't like their abilities and they are causing them to be isolated, but that's not like I don't think the manga is trying to get you to feel so sorry for them to like fully embrace the tragedy. You're supposed to go, oh, that's why they don't have friends. That's why Setsu being their friend would be good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever get the vibe they're trying to be like, oh no, stink girl, because we never get like her being bullied by everyone. We never get like, yes, everyone told her to just go die. Like we don't get the like.
It's specifically loneliness.
Yeah, it's I'm lonely. I need a friend. I'll be your friend. And it's very like lighthearted and happy. And it's tragedy for the sake of having like a positive influence.
Yeah. And
you see in like children's cartoons a lot, like that kind of deal. Like no one's.
Yeah. And it's like with Fujo, it's not that bad because it's like they do the thing about how, oh, she has to eat lunch alone. Oh, she doesn't actually know what any of her classmates' faces look like as they all wear gas masks. Mm-hmm. It's like that's fridge horror-y, but like it's as you said. And then we get to the part where Shiraishi is sexually abused. And
I think that was a misplay. I don't think that's her intent there.
I don't know.
We can talk about that when it comes up.
Are we talking about the breakup?
We can talk about that when we get to it because
well, that's next. That's the very next one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I before we get into that, then I just want to say, how do you feel about the Streakers story? Because she had her bit before about how I can't wear clothes. Like I think her problem is so comical. You don't even feel the need to feel like sympathy for her.
Yeah.
But it clearly affects her a lot more than it does Furo. Like she's genuinely pissed off.
Yeah. That one, I was too busy feeling bad for Setsu getting her teeth punched in to notice. But like in retrospect, it is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's actually where I sort of get my take from, because like they're trying to play her character. Like that moment is Setsu getting beat up, but like I don't know, maybe manga has desensitized me to that sort of thing, because like that one is like it's not exactly being played straight, but it's being played more straight than a lot of the other jokes in the series. But like it's so fleeting, and it does have that foot in the door of comedy that it didn't. That aspect of you can't criticize me because I'm a joke series wasn't like as severe as it is with other other like manga and shows and such, because it does have enough of a foot in the door of comedy that it's like it doesn't feel jolting, I guess. You know, it's just I can't help but notice that sort of thing, and it irritates me. I
don't know, just to reiterate, like it feels like the tragedy is clearly there to set up a joke, and then it's also resolved. The tragedy's there to be resolved, like it's to feel good. It's not. I think there's some fridge horror, but I don't think that's ever brought to the surface enough that it's meant to be cared about. So I don't know.
I don't know. All I do know is that this next chapter left a really bad taste in my mouth.
I think I know what I think the manga was going for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because this one is about Shiraishi's personal life. it starts with her getting boned down, of course. And we learn through conversation between Setsu and Fujo that Shiraishi doesn't actually, despite, being the slut, she doesn't sleep around. She just fixates on one person that she's really into and sleeps with them a bunch, which, cool. That's a character informing thing. And then like halfway through the chapter, she breaks up with her current boyfriend, who I just noticed this too. Mans has long hair and no eyes. He's a hentai protagonist.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I think that's why this didn't bug me that much.
Yeah.
But she wants to break up with him. So he's like, oh, well, how about we screw one more time as a last hurrah? By the way, I'm going to call some friends over. And then next panel, she's slumped against a wall like she just got beat up in a battle scene.
Well, she did.
Saying that he called 30 guys. And I'm like, what the
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not...
The way it's presented...
It's more she's tired that...
Yeah.
Like, her character is, she's like, that was way more than I intended, not
that she, like, feels violated or anything.
It's like, oh, I thought we were going for a quick jog, not we're doing a 5K.
I don't know.
Yeah. To be fully fair, Sam, I totally, looking back at it, I can see that.
There's just a lot of close-ups of her face looking like...
She looks annoyed.
She looks annoyed, and then she's got the, like, weird, like, satisfied grin in one panel. So I don't think you're supposed to be reading this as she's upset. I don't know. This is weird, and I think it could have been done a little better, but I'm judging by the frame of everything else. I definitely don't think that's the intent of this chapter.
The way it's framed, it didn't bother me, but...
I'll fully admit it bothered me, and I kind of checked out for a bit while I was reading.
Honestly understandable, because, like, it's not framed with that intention, but you can't read it that way, and that's problematic.
I think maybe what Sam is seeing is he sees it as, like, dehumanizing, and that's probably what they were trying to...
That's the problem, is I think it was supposed to be a little dehumanizing.
Yeah. But I don't know if that might have been the manga's, like, intention. Not intention, but, like, just
I think
showing different...
Like, if it was her going... Like, if it was, ex-boyfriend saying, mind if I call up a few friends, and her being like, okay, because slutty character, and then next panel is her being exhausted, like, I didn't expect that many. That would have been... I feel like that would have hit closer to... The intent,
and that's a valid critique too.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't know. It just left me a little queasy.
I think based on the context of the last couple of chapters, this is supposed to be her odd man thing of why she needs a friend, because currently her odd man powers, she wants sex, but because she's a slut, she can't be with one person for too long, so she falls in and out of love with people, and I think there is some fridge tragedy to that.
Yeah.
And that's why Setsu being the consistent force in her life of, like, something positive is being set up as a good thing. I think the way this is framed, you can get some unintentional, not even unintentional. I think there is some things intended here that are a little squicky. I think this is a weird chapter. I will concede that. But yeah, let's play some Splatoon.
Woo! Stay fresh as we meet Oddman number 10, the Deep One. Who I also really like this character because, played up as this, like, Lovecraftian horror, finally gets fished out of the pool by Setsu, and then he's just Squid Kid.
I like that her personality trait is that she is a squid.
Yes.
Basically.
I've never played Platoon. I just watched Squid Girl, which was cute. So.
Squid Girl's probably a much better reference point for this.
Reference point, yeah.
I liked the
puns.
I like the bit at the very end. This is so stupid. There's a joke about, like, her, like, Lovecraftian silhouette or whatever. It's like, but you don't look like the creepy silhouette from that one panel at all, because Oddman 11 doesn't care about the fourth wall, obviously. That was fake. It's like the silhouette from the first opening of Zeta Gundam. That wasn't the Zeta Gundam at all. It's just like that. I'm like, wait, what? I actually looked up Zeta's OP again. Yes, that is the Zeta Gundam. She's just wrong. Oh, that was my takeaway from this. It got me to rewatch the Zeta Gundam OPs.
Worked as intended.
Indeed.
Oh.
So, Ika-chan, that is to say Squid Girl, now can't just hide out in the pool because while the Oddman powers do allow them to bend time, space, and the law, they are not more powerful than school. And if she skips any more classes, she auto-fails.
Yeah.
So she has to take remedial classes with Anuda, and I love that.
And Anuda, again, has been attending all of her classes. She does that dumb.
She's just dumb, yes.
Anuda is like the most consistently like the jokes landed personally. I love her. She's great.
He's so straight faced, but constantly put on.
We are reminded that Itami exists and is ostensibly the goal of this reverse
Whatever this
program.
is.
I completely forgot at this point, and I'll probably forget again.
We see that he's covered in scars because he is the masochist.
Also, we do get like some very clear characterization. Setsu is into him, which is important with how she is with all the other odd men.
Yeah, and she's like, so those scars, that's a little messed up, man. Are you? That's from. Oh, right. This is where they explicitly say that the masochist is the sister because she's like, that's from
connection.
That's from your sister. Isn't that a bit too cruel? And he's like, no, we're both into this. I'm a masochist. She's a sadist. She actually is powerful enough to kill me at any time she wants, but she doesn't. It's an expression of kindness. I'm kind of with Setsu on this one, but you know what?
It's weird.
That is the joke.
Yes.
How dare you gatekeep that, Sam? That's how they express their love.
I'm not gatekeeping anything. I'm just with Setsu and feeling a little weirded out. Anyway, at this point, Fujo and Setsu are regularly making out, so...
Yes.
That's just a thing that randomly happens in one panel.
Also, I love how Fujo, she clears the air. She herself is not bi and she's not a lesbian. She just likes Setsu. She identifies as straight, but likes Setsu too.
Stink girl clears the air. I get it.
Look, she's straight with an asterisk, and that asterisk is Setsu shaped.
Yes. This also begins my other favorite running joke, which is Fujo and Shiraishi fighting over Setsu's affections.
Affection.
And virginity.
Yes.
And virginity, yes.
We would bring up all of the is Setsu still a virgin jokes, except the episode would be 80 hours long.
The chapters are just 8 pages long. It would be faster for you to read it than for us to recount it like that. So let's move on to the summer arc.
Oh, that makes so much sense. That's why Kuda and Squid Girl are going to summer school.
Yes.
You know what? I hadn't made that connection either, but you're right. But we learned that Shiraishi decides to sometimes just go around in sexy outfits, which, you know, isn't surprising. It's more surprising it took this long for her to just randomly show up in a nurse's outfit.
I kind of dig the meta joke that's going on here, because you've got the high schoolers, and this is the first time you're seeing them on summer break. So the whole thing is like, oh, we get to see what they wear outside of their school uniforms. And Setsu's there, and she's in like a cute like outfit. Like it's nothing super special, but it's like it's casual wear.
It's protagonist summer outfit TM.
And the joke it's setting up is when you flip the page, you're going to see Shiraishi in her summer uniform. And then it's a sexy nurse costume like that.
Yeah.
Like it's explicitly a costume. Like you're never going to see her in that again.
And then Anuda's in her like grungy
cool summer wear. It's like, this is just what I wear.
First one to use their mouth loses.
I like that. I like that game plan.
Yeah, her grunge band outfit. And it's like, oh, hey, Anuda, how's it go? Why do you have a plastic bag and tongs? Because it's important to pick up after the poop when the dog is walking. Oh, that makes sense. Wait a minute.
They don't go further into it.
Yes.
And they don't go further into it until we get to the chapter where it's only that joke. Anyway, Fujo is also in a erotic costume.
Yeah, she showed up in a swimsuit.
So erotic. It's a one piece. It's very tasteful.
Mm-hmm. And Nudist Girl is also here.
I love the panel of her walking up like she is the main villain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. She looks like, well, actually, she looks like a villain out of Kill la Kill.
I'm just saying, she is one of the main villains, so how dare you? I guess, question mark.
And then we see the real main villain, the ticket machine.
Yes. It's gonna suck my fingers! I've never used this before.
Yes, she is. As stated before, never gone on public transport.
I'm actually scared for her because if you've ever been, especially like on public transport in certain areas, it's pretty sketch. And this girl has no barriers to anything.
Well, thankfully, we have Fucho, who instantly clears any car.
So cute. Yeah, I was just talking about like her sitting down, but she fortunately looks like she's standing up in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why she's standing up.
Yeah, so sanitary.
Would not want to sit the naked ass upon those public subway seats. Anyway, they go to the aquarium, and because this isn't a
this isn't Chainsaw Man, good things can happen at an aquarium.
Exactly.
I love boob squish.
Boob squish was funny. I loved it.
That was funny.
Yeah, because like when a person who's never been to aquarium is enchantedly pressed against the glass, usually it's the nose. But no, because this is the sex joke manga and she is naked, boob squish against the glass.
There's really only like a couple of panels of this before it transitions to I think it's karaoke bar.
Yeah.
Is it karaoke or is it just a...
Well, the sign says karaoke, so...
They're getting beer, and it's like, aren't we all underage? We're odd men. Okay.
Oddman card. Don't question it.
Wait a second, Setsu, you're not an odd man. I'm still going to drink my beer.
Well, no, Setsu is like, I'm just a normal high schooler. No, you're like the 12th odd man. Okay. Odd man number 12, friend.
I believe it.
Also, we get naked odd man being a sad girl again as she smashes the table because she's still in love with Atami.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, can we just look, dating Atami, we've all done it. Let's just get drunk and forget about him. Trashy, are you repressing things, maybe? Nope, more beer.
There we go. Feeling beer.
Yeah, Anuda is right on it. Every time they are out of beer, she is at the phone ordering more.
Well, yes, that's because she was told to fetch.
Yeah, she loves being told to fetch. We learned this, yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Good girl.
But yeah, so this turns into a girls' trip as they all drink to forget their problems about the boy they've all dated and the one who wants to date him.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say walking red flag, though?
Yes, this
entire manga it's not made of red flags. It is just a red flag.
Yes. Oh, there's a boy I really like. I want to date him. Meet all of his exes. Not only do you have to defeat them, but they all are troubled themselves, and some of them have never gotten over him. Are you sure you want to date this individual?
I will slowly make them my harem.
You guys know Scott Pilgrim is also about how the entire setup is a giant red flag.
Yes. Oh, God.
Anyway, let's meet the one odd man who's no longer in high school. Not because she's too old to be in high school, but because she's a super genius who graduated out already on academic prowess.
Yeah.
And then became a mangaka.
Inuta could take a pointer or two.
Also, she lives in this penthouse apartment based on her 4-coma newspaper strip?
No, she's a very successful mangaka.
Kishibe Rohan who?
Well, I mean, I was going to say, I wonder if there is some level of projection in this, but...
Look, nothing will ever be more mangaka self-insert projection than Rohan, but this is pretty close.
I like how she just has Stalin's skull.
Yeah. We're not supposed to like ask questions about that?
Because this is Oddman number 4, the Collector. She is a Cyclops. And her Oddman power isn't that she is a super rich and successful mangaka. It is that she is able to collect originals of incredibly rare things.
Because she's a Cyclops.
I can't tell if it's just because she's a Cyclops, if she's able to tell they're authentic, or if she just is able to throw money at things. I don't know.
Let's see.
It's because don't question it.
Let's see. It's because she's got her eye on it.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Cyclopses are notoriously like
Hoardy.
protective. Yeah, they hoard and they're protective of things.
See, I knew about the hoarding and protective, but I'm just saying, like, how does that translate, I guess, into...
I'm not letting you have any of these sheep. These are my favorite sheep.
All of them.
I will crush all of your men, Odysseus.
Man, it would have been great if Setsu introduced herself as nobody, but
she's too nice.
She is.
Indeed. But the challenge that Setsu needs to do in order to defeat her, and I love this because Cyclops girl is like, so I hear you're challenging all of us Oddmen for the right to date a Tommy. Actually, I've kind of dropped that plot thread. Anyway, here's my challenge.
Quest.
Like, I'm into a Tommy, but we just had a whole like girl bonding moment about how maybe it's not good to fight over. No, do my fetch quest.
Okay. Here are the secret treasures you must collect. You must find the one golden hair on Shiraishi's body. You must collect the headband, the one piece of clothing that number 7 can wear. And you must collect the tears of the cold-hearted sadist number 2.
They're said to grant eternal youth.
Yeah, sure. Can you autograph the... I actually love your forecoma. Can you autograph this for me?
It's for her grandma.
Yeah.
It's even nicer.
Yeah, it's super cute. I love that panel.
I love how her quest feels made up in the moment.
Yeah.
It's
These are the first 3 random things I could think of off the top of my head.
You see, it feels like just more of the fetish bullshit with, the one golden hair on Shiraishi's body, the headband of the nudist. But then you get to the tears of the sadist and you're like, I can't tell if it's more disturbing the thought that that's also more fetish baiting. Anyway, Setsu has the best plan in the universe in order to get the golden hair from Shiraishi, which is invite her to a pool date and get her a itty bitty string bikini.
Oh yeah,
I love
this is one of my favorites.
This was very funny. Yes,
because as a cat, she has no interest in going to a pool. You don't understand. It's not a pool. It's the pool. And dear listeners, they go to that pool.
Mm-hmm.
The most pool ever.
The most famous pool ever in all of Japan.
Yes.
That's where they film their pornos.
Yep. It's the pool.
It's the equivalent of that couch.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
And with this itty bitty string bikini, Setsu can see
Everything.
inch.
Oh, Sam, I do feel the need to point out this isn't a bikini; it's a one piece.
Oh,
It
right.
is technically a one piece. Yes.
It's one of those V one pieces
that are totally impractical.
Mm-hmm.
They're practical for taking photos and then not ever
for anything else. Although I did the one panel where Setsu's like, compared to Inuta, it's harder to tell, but Shiraishi's entire body is in fact covered in fur. What? And somewhere there should be the golden hairs. And also, she's blonde. So you need to find the golden hair on the blonde girl who's covered in fur.
Yep.
Yes. Do you accept this challenge, Sam?
Yes.
Also, in the possible lewdest this manga gets.
This is really saying something because we have on-panel banging.
She does spread the butt open to check, and I'm like, how did this pass censors? Then I'm like, oh wait, no, she's a cat.
Yeah, she's a cat.
Uh-huh.
It's totally legal.
Cats always shoving their buttholes in people's faces.
Yes. You're so assertive today.
I regret making this episode.
Meanwhile, Shiraishi's completely none the wiser. It's just like,
None the wiser.
I guess I'm into this.
Shiraisi is revved up and ready to go.
Yes.
she thinks this is all foreplay. She got out the tissues, the condoms.
I love the punchline.
Yes.
The 2 punchlines, because there's 2 jokes here. Oh, the one place I haven't looked. Setsu lifts Shiraishi's nose, and here's Shiraishi like, I've never done this before. This is strange. And
this girl is into some weird stuff, but I'm into it.
And of course, it's the nose hairs, which is punchline number 1. But my God, the comedic timing on the paneling for the last couple of panels where she punches Setsu in the face.
No, she cat scratches.
She cat scratches her all over the face, and Setsu's like, "Aw."
It's so fucking funny.
But yeah, quest item get.
You know, I think that brings us about to the halfway point of our reading, so we're gonna need to cool off.
I certainly need a recharge moment after that one.
It only gets better from here.
You gotta watch that refractory period.
You know, Matt, I wasn't gonna say it.
We're already in an explicit episode. I don't know what to do with my life.
We'll be right back after this, folks. And welcome back to the show, folks. Where last we left our Oddmen. God, what did happen? Right. Shiraishi, golden hairs.
As lewd as this manga will get. Oh, wait, no, this chapter happens.
Yeah. Hey, you guys know the pop-up pirate game?
No.
I know the pop-up pirate game.
Well, it's this game where you have this pirate in a spring-loaded barrel, and you have to poke swords into it, and whoever makes the pirate pop up is the loser. However, swords are phallic things, and what if we had a little Setsu instead?
Now whoever makes the Setsu pop up is the winner instead.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm dancing around the metaphor, but they don't.
Oh, I love how as they're explaining this, they explain that Setsu's the reason she's not being harassed in person is because she's with the collector at Comiket. It's summer and whatnot, and she's flipping open a thing, and it's like 2 guys, and it's a yaoi manga.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Wait, this is a gay comic?" Yeah, duh.
Yes.
And I'm just like, that's very on brand for what's going on in this manga.
Congratulations, Setsu. It only took you 15 chapters, but you become self-aware.
Now you'll have
I think that's giving. Yeah, I think that's giving Setsu a little bit too much. No thoughts, head empty. Setsu a little too much credit, but
yes. So now Shiraishi and Fujo will try to make the tiny Setsu achieve climax by poking swords into the barrel.
I wish I had friends who were so considerate. Moving on.
I can't.
Don't think about it too hard.
I have no idea how to respond to that.
That's what I'm here for. Moving on.
So Fujo, being somehow the more depraved of the two, immediately goes for the butt stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I this bit is hilarious because it's stab with the sword. Setsu at the Comic-Con. You okay there, Setsu? Yeah, my butt feels weird. What an odd thing to say.
it's a voodoo doll.
Yeah.
Or like a screw-doo doll.
Hey! Yeah, Setsu is reacting to the various swords being stabbed into the little voodoo doll. And they finally reach the last slot to be filled.
Oh, I love this math doesn't make sense when off on Shiraishi going like, you don't understand. It doesn't matter how many of the holes are filled. It's still a 1 in 24 chance. And I'm like, no, it's not.
That
You are misunderstanding the Monty Hall paradox.
If you are removing options, then to be fair, she does get called out on this, but
she gets called out on this in such a great way because they get down to the final hole that needs to be filled, and it's Fuja's turn. So she's like, so if I do this, it's still a 1 in 24, right? But it's a 100% chance of me kicking over the table so that you don't win. Now, the real disappointing thing about this, we don't get to see Setsu's reaction to being
the
brought to the edge, and then kicked away.
God damn it, Sam.
That would be so funny. Come on.
It would. But
anyway, let's play baseball.
Instead, we have Fujo not wanting to play games anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we get the excuse for everyone to be in baseball uniforms, and I'm like, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have more dog place fetch jokes. We have
fried calamari.
Oh yes.
I don't know why that is the main joke of this chapter, but it is.
Yes, it is. And at first I was like seriously concerned because I thought they were like eating her tentacles. No, it's just, her sunburnt skin peeling off. Because
is that better?
I know. I'm just like, what is
Mildly?
So yes, Ikuchen, the squid girl, is getting sunburnt at being out there in the daylight. And so everyone is like, I smell calamari. Inuta, go get soy sauce. Bow, bow. And so everyone just starts dipping Ikuchan's sunburnt skin leavings in soy sauce, and it's a sushi dinner.
I'm so confused because there's a bit where Ikuchan says, I brought my murder cleats.
Yes, I brought along murder spikes or murder cleats. They're coated with some kind of venom.
And
what was that about?
I don't understand because Setsu doesn't react to that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Who has murder cleats?
I mean,
like,
they did say that she is one of the stronger Oddmen, so maybe that's what that deal is.
But she then proceeds to just ignore the fact that she just said murder cleats.
I know. She does dip everything to go hang out with Streaker, so.
And then Shiraishi orders Ikuchan to keep tanning. So and Inuta to go get some beer. So I guess the baseball game has been put on suspension for a
lunch break. Yes.
I mean, that's kind of what happens to baseball games when it's
I love how the joke continues, though, because obviously people are somewhat concerned. I mean, obviously none of the Oddmen, but I mean, we are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
About Ika-chan.
Not even Ika is concerned. She's just like, I hope I don't get any tan spots. Like, okay, I guess we're here now.
Yep.
This is dumb fun. I'm here for it. It's summer nonsense.
Yeah, that one was fun. I also like this next one. As we have Streaker Girl and Setsu playing more table tennis, and the way they are keeping score is Streaker Girl tallying the score on her thighs. Where else am I supposed to write it? I'm naked.
I don't know, like your arms or something.
Nope, inner thigh.
Inner thigh. Because we have to get the body writing joke in because we don't have enough tags.
Unfortunately, I was not aware of the body writing tag, and I'm now curious but afraid. I don't know what to call this feeling. Apprehensive.
Well, you see, what the joke is what they're actually tallying is the score in table tennis, but what onlookers will believe is they're tallying the number of.
And then a character shows up to make that exact assumption.
Hey, Jay, you know when you were in elementary school and you'd write your name on your notebook so that everyone knew it was your property and not to touch it? And that if it gets lost, to return it to you? Yeah, the kink's kind of the same thing.
I can understand that. That's cute.
Interesting.
Anyway, we meet my least favorite character.
Tommy?
He's everyone's least favorite character. That's why we don't talk about him at all in this plot, basically.
Well, this is where we get the whole cute bit about how
she has the headband.
Yeah, the headband is.
All right, we do need to explain that before we get to my least favorite character.
All right.
But yes, the origin of the headband is that it was a gift from Itami, and she was like, "You idiot! I literally can't wear anything." And he's like, "Nah, here, have this ribbon. It'll look cute." And it just worked. She was, for some reason, this broke through the divine decree that said she must be naked to allow her to wear that ribbon. To the point where hearing this sappy story, Setsu's like, I feel bad actually taking this from her now because I won the table tennis game.
I need it for my fetch quest.
I know a way to assuage my guilt. Here, take my sailor suit tie, and now it's bunny ears.
What? You needed another tag?
Yes. Tags on tags on tags.
Indeed.
And unfortunately, so I don't understand why these two characters are at the gym.
Me neither.
Because we need to introduce the new character, that's why.
Mm-hmm. As horrible little gremlin, Oni girl, friggin' what's her name? Chuko, that's it. She's talking like they just passed them in the hall.
But she's been stalking them. Like, that's...
Yeah.
This is a gym that says no entry to people. Like, this is her private gym that they've...
Mm-hmm.
Which, given her character, 100% makes sense that she was just being a little gremlin going like, oh, really? They're having fun?
Yeah. I'm gonna go ruin the fun. Yes, she's the one that calls Streaker Girl Miss Godiva. And it looks like we're being introduced to two Oddmen because one of them is just an armored knight, but also in a sailor uniform.
Because we need more tags.
Yes, we do.
It's fine. Just ignore her. Good.
Oh, I met two more Oddmen. You met the little gremlin, and who else? This girl in armor? That's not one of the Oddmen. What do you mean?
It's just skipping over
the start of that.
That chapter starts with later.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm not trying to skip past it. I was just...
I do feel the need to warn, even though this is an explicit episode, it opens to the two characters banging. Or at least in the literal sense.
Banging, much like one might bang a cast iron pan to make a loud noise.
Yes.
Because they are engaged in some oral sex. If oral sex was looking at yourself and your partner's flat, featureless, shiny crotch. I'm just saying, if she instead had a boyfriend called Bender, she would be biting that shiny metal ass.
The armor stays on during sex. I don't know what you're missing here, Matt.
You gotta have protection. I mean, come on.
Yes. That is definitely what that is. A little bit of narcissism baked in, but all right.
I can see my own reflection.
You're
It's
so
turning me on.
shiny.
I'm just gonna say the top half of this page is going in a folder of out of context manga panels for whenever Twitter asks for that.
Oh yes, I have a folder too. Don't worry about it.
There is. I have read this manga, and this panel doesn't make a lot of sense.
When context doesn't help, welcome to Oddman 11.
It really doesn't. Because, like, I'm looking at this panel again with the context, and my head just hurts.
Well, the panel exists for the joke.
I know. Anyway, this is the part where we learn that little Oni gremlin is Oddman number 11, Oddman number 8, the lowlife.
And everyone feels the need to clarify their sexual orientations, which important. Yes. Especially given the situation, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's an odd man. You need to watch out for her. She's got a communication disorder. She's really
unpleasant.
She's really unpleasant, got a real foul personality, and she's a lesbian. Aren't you also a lesbian, Shiraishi? No, I'm bi! Okay.
Really angry about this. Dare you?
How dare you imply I don't like dick?
It's true. I mean, in this manga, very obviously she does, at least a little bit.
What the fuck are we even talking about?
Oddman 11.
What about you, Fujo? Oh, you're the only girl I like, Setsu. Other than that, nah.
Yeah, asterisks.
So anyway, there was that other Oddman with her, the armor girl. Oh, what? Never heard of her. She's not an Oddman, just an ordinary someone. She was wearing full knight armor. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna have more squid. Ika-chan, aren't you a squid? Squids are cannibals.
This is a fact, yes.
Anyway.
Choco's entire bit, in addition to being just the worst, she really does the groundwork, even when there are no other characters present. Because man, does she only see her girlfriend for sex.
Mm-hmm.
Does get resolved later, in a manner of speaking, but...
In a manner of speaking.
I mean, Sam, what did they say? You got to start from the lowest point in order to have character growth. I'm also upset when characters just start out at their high points. Because they've got nothing to achieve. They've definitely set her up for a lot to achieve.
I would agree that there is something involving this character about a high point and a low point, but I don't know if I follow you on that regard.
What you talking about, Matt?
That's a real leap of faith you're putting there, Matt. One might even say you're jumping to conclusions. I'm sorry.
Look, sometimes you just got to yeet your problems.
I'm sorry. That was awful.
That was great.
I thought it was funny.
We're reaching the part that made me angry. I'm trying to cope. Anyway.
So her entire bit is everyone hates her and she feels touch-starved. Like the actual onus for her character is no one likes her. And that's because of her. Like you don't feel sorry that other people don't like her because she's unlikable. But she's unlikable because of her Oddmen nonsense. And she's the one where her Oddmen thing seems like it's treated most like a curse. But it's also kind of her own problem. So it's weird. But like that's her whole vibe is she desperately wants someone she wants a friend that she can have sex with. And I'm like, okay, we can unpack the problematic elements about that. But
yeah, and she does say some very troubling statements to that effect. It's like, how about we just have friends first? Don't need to immediately.
That's the problem is she does say, I want to start off as friends and then I can transition it into boning. And I'm like, weird.
That shouldn't be an objective. I understand perhaps what you're trying to say, but all your friends don't have to be sex friends. That's all I'm saying.
She doesn't want a bunch of friends. She wants one sex friend.
That's called having a committed partner.
That sounds like too much work.
Anyway,
I do like the bit where she's coaching the armor girl into her fantasy about being pinned up against the wall, and it's done in reverse.
Yes.
Where the wall is pinned up against her.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, no, it's like Kiku, the armor girl, was on the other side of the wall and punched through it. Just to the side.
It's like the most aggressive Kabedon of all time.
Yes.
It's like it's a shot out of a horror movie.
They even do this in RoboCop.
I don't know what to make of it. Yeah.
Anyway, this is all getting a little complicated. Let's just have a nice, simple chapter with a poop joke. Dogs, am I right?
Hey. So, yeah, Setsu invites Inuta out for a walk, to, I guess, hang out or whatever. And she shows up in true form with her little baggie and her tongue clip things.
My girl has not taken a dump in 3 days because no one has taken her for a walk.
I was trying to say. Setsu's like, what took you so long? We're specifically at the spot that says no pet waste, and you took forever. It's like, well, this is the first time I've taken a crap in 3 days. Anyway, here's the bag. Why do I have to carry it? You're the one who invited me for the walk.
That's how the rules go. It's only polite.
Why is the bag so heavy?
Because I haven't taken it in 3 days. What part are you not understanding?
This chapter tells 2 jokes and it will tell them repeatedly.
Yeah. Why are you complaining about the smell anyway? You hang out with Fujo. Yeah, I've gone nose blind to Fujo's unique smell. This is just poo.
Anyway, they say Uka-chan fishing and they're like, hey, look at this poop. What? Ew.
That's a weird thing to say.
It's not something I would do with my dog, but like.
Anyway, Iki-chan, you're fishing, right? Yeah. Here's my special fishing technique. First, you dip your tentacle in the water, you wiggle it around for the prey to come close, you catch them, and then you devour it. What do you mean eat? And like underwater, the tentacle has turned into a mouth and has devoured a fish. And she spits out a whole fish skeleton.
Yeah, she's eating dinner right now. You're just like, you had me at the first part. The rest is, I don't know if I can do that.
And Setsu is so shocked by this that she kicks over the bag of poo into the water.
Littering!
Like, well, that fishing spot's gone forever. Nature destroyed. It's not going to take that long to decompose.
She's still self-conscious about her poop.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about the plastic bag.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about the plastic bag and possibly the poop.
I think they're talking about the poop.
Anyway,
we get
dog.
Anyway, at next chapter, we get the continuation of the bit with Shiraishi going like, "Hey, here's the manga expectation of a costume change." Oh, nope, she's just wearing a full uniform as a fetish. Because you expect her to be in her kimono, but nope.
Nope, flight attendant
Uniform, yep.
We can dig it.
Or yukata? I'm never sure which one goes for which thing.
Yukata is for when it's hotter outside.
This is the fireworks festival.
It's hot, baby.
Setsu's the one in the yukata. She's just gone full in on the festival. She's like a kid at the county fair.
Yes, as full on. What do they say? Like you're from an anime.
Yeah.
I love Fujo and her yukata crying in her room alone.
Because she's too stinky to go to the fair.
Well, she shouldn't be stinky. I don't know what to tell you.
That's another one of those moments where it's like, don't you feel sad for the character? It's like, I guess.
I mean, that one's also clearly a joke. Like,
it's framed as a joke.
Hey, Sam, when Charlie Brown doesn't kick the football, is that not a joke to you, or?
That is, I don't know. I don't know. Something about this manga's timing just didn't vibe with me. Okay.
Oh, that's fair. You can not like the joke, but I'm like, it's a joke.
We do get one joke that I really like, which is where they go to do the shooting game, and it's like all these prizes are kind of lame. There's a lighter, there's some caramels, there's this weird, probably some kind of like racial discrimination crime doll.
You're not wrong. It's
But the whole like psychology behind it is Sirashi is like trying to rationalize, like, you don't actually want any of this crap, right? Like, would you come and want to win any of this crap if it weren't a festival?
No, not really. And then Streaker Girl is like, hey, what about those high quality condoms? All right, I've got it for you, Setsu. I didn't say I wanted the bang.
Aha, now I'm going to use them to take Setsu's virginity. And Setsu's just like, what would even require a condom? Just practically.
Hold on, I have questions.
The look on her face is pretty great.
A strap-on for the aesthetic. That's the probably the actual answer in Shiraishi's mind. Explicit episodes are fun.
Yeah, this is... I don't know how this is somehow more explicit than some of the other stuff we've done. This is somehow more explicit than Manmu.
Yeah.
Manmu had a plot.
Yeah, Manmu had... Well, Manmu had... No, it's not that Manmu had a plot. Manmu had characters.
This is somehow more shameless than Manmu. Manmu had an iota of shame. This one does not have one.
I think Manmu was genuinely trying to do like a porn story, whereas this one is not trying to like be erotic. That's, I think, the difference.
Yeah.
It's just, what if reality was full of these weird sex past Oddmen? I guess we just have to accept this reality now because we're reading this story.
Yeah. So anyway, we cut back to favorite girl, Choco, who apparently lives in the nurse's office of the school because She wants to grope her girlfriend's boobs so badly, she breaks off her fingernails when she does it.
Because said girlfriend is made out of metal, because she's an armor knight.
It took me... I thought, until they bring this bit up again, so I thought this was her Oddman power, but then it comes up later. No, she's just an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you snap off your own fingernails by...
Repeatedly, apparently, too. It's just kind of like, what is missing? What are we not
That's not
grasping?
even a good... Like, that's not even good technique. Like, you're pinching with your nails is not...
So many questions.
Man, no wonder Setsu doesn't get aroused later on.
It's like, let me pinch at you for a little bit.
Her technique sucks. That's not how you massage boobs. But anyway, for reasons beyond my oh wait, we're doing the Scott Pilgrim thing, right? Setsu shows up and tries to seduce the little Oni gremlin.
No, she's trying to encourage her to talk, and so at the beginning, it said all of the Oddmen dated Atami, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
And they never bring up. They never bring up how Choco.
Choco?
What's it? Yeah, they never bring up how she relates to any of that.
Maybe. No, wait a minute. No, that doesn't work. I was about to say maybe she's homosexual, but some version of romantic that would allow for dating a boy, but she explicitly says later that boys are visualized as enemies to her. So
yeah.
I kind of forgot the Scott Pilgrim thing by this point because it's just completely veered off into whatever direction we're in now.
You know, you say that, except this chapter is the one that reminds you it's still a plot point. Because Choco calls her out on it. Or, I'm sorry, it's the next chapter. But Choco's like, you're only trying to make us all friendly so that you can win your game. And she's just like, I mean, yes, but...
I also like having friends. I can do both.
I'm trying to have like a positive outcome for everyone where I also get to date Atami because he makes my heart go doki doki.
What I'm saying is that we should all poly up already.
To the point.
Choco would not be game for that.
Yeah, she's too obsessive.
Actually, Shiraishi would also not be game for that.
Yeah, sure, she's strictly monogamous.
With exceptions.
With exceptions.
Like most people.
My friggin' head hurts. Anyway, I do gotta say, I really liked the bit where like Setsu is trying to seduce Choku, and it's not working because Choku keeps being like, I'm not being seduced by you and your soft flesh boobs. I'm totally into my stiff metal girlfriend. Oh, let's have lunch then. I have a bento box that has yes written in it. Why does it have yes written in it? Choku, you are explicitly, it is said later that like 90% of your free time is spent watching porn. How do you not get the yes thing?
Because that's the joke.
I don't get the yes thing.
It's a trope where you have a pillow that says yes as a form of consent.
Tell us, Sam.
I actually don't know about this at all.
That's it. I explained it.
That was the joke in Spy X Family, the honeymoon protocol or whatever it was.
Yeah, the honeymoon protocol with the yes pillows.
So Matt, you probably don't know this, but a lot of like wedding when you're making your registry and all that crap, that is one of the recommendations.
As a consent pillow?
Apparently, I did not know what that meant.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's new information to me.
Communication, it's important, everyone.
And if you could just streamline that communication so it's clear.
See, you need to coyly place the pillow over your crotch. So
that's going into Family Guy territory. I don't know. How do I know she's like into me?
Anyway, the yes no bento box was Shiraishi's idea because of course it was.
But yeah, I love the amount of disrespect Setsu just puts on Suit of Armor Girl. as she just seduces her girlfriend in front of her, as Choco is repeatedly going, "This is my committed girlfriend. I do not want another girlfriend. I am totally okay with her solid metal boobs."
Oh my god, it's the NTR tag.
Oh, god damn it. You're right. You're so right.
Explain, please.
Naturare. The fetish of being seduced away from your committed partner.
This is a new one I have not heard of.
We're just learning all the things.
Why am I the one that knows? Actually,
Yeah, this explains a lot, Sam.
I love any episode where we can just have Sam go his like college professor spiel on different types of porn. Learning with Professor Sam.
Sam, we'll swap info later. But tell us, what is this?
is it the part about how the robot Tulpa isn't able to urinate, so can't fulfill?
That's next chapter.
That's next chapter, and I do understand that part. I guess I was just understanding the fact that this is apparently a fetish of some sort that is like an offshoot of cuckold.
It's not one that I understand, but I know it's one that exists.
I'm not kink shaming, not yet, but I am kink asking why.
The Over Manga Cast does not kink shame, but sometimes we will have questions.
Clarifying questions. Anyway, ghost stories, I guess.
The ghost stories is just a bunch of fun jokes. My favorite being Collector comes in a school uniform and they're like, "Aren't you not a student here? It's school rules that if you come here, you have to wear a school uniform." I'm like, even if you're an adult,
Yeah,
you're not a student. You don't wear a uniform.
You just wanted to wear the outfit, didn't you?
It's still age appropriate. Remember, she still is high school age. She just, graduated. So it's not totally weird.
It's just mostly weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it gets much weirder because they have a whole bunch of spirit candles and then they end up turning them into representation of whoever blows out the last candle gets to take Setsu's virginity.
Because that's always the wager.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Unfortunately, they fight so hard over the last candle that it happens to get thrown into the air and is caught by the most unlikely suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Choco.
Well, here's the she doesn't blow it out. She snuffs it with her fingers. Wait, god damn it!
Yes.
You know how that's happening.
God damn it!
She can't stop pinching.
Oh my god!
That's
not what you do, Choco.
The dirty metaphor layers just keep going deeper and deeper. Oh my!
Keep in mind, this is totally on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to believe anything else.
So anyway, Setsu's trying to get a 5-star rating on her boobs. So
yes.
I guess any qualms Choco had about cheating on her girlfriend are gone now. Which, to be fair, Choco is the worst, so it's on brand for the character. I can't complain.
Yep.
She does seem to feel really bad about it.
Yeah, she is conflicted, but she has made a decision.
She's also real upset that Setsu's not into it sexually. So she's just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
There is not a thought in that head.
I'm just saying, whatever she has to do to get to her man, for some reason, I don't know.
The only thought she has is Itami.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she gets confronted by a literal suit of armor in the bathroom after macking her girlfriend. And this meeting goes much better than it probably could have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I love the setup because the setup is clearly, I'm a suit of armor. She has needs I can't fulfill. You are soft and warm, and that's clearly a thing she appreciates.
Capable of urination.
And then after setting that up, the joke is then that no, it's just about piss.
Yeah. Yeah. So, of course, at the finish line, this manga will trip and fall right into me hating it. But
is it the piss fetish?
No, it's not the piss fetish.
No, I'm not gonna lie. This was a bridge too far for me too. This I was not happy about this
because we learn about the province of Kiku, the armor girl. She was a... So y'all seen Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
It's basically that, except she disappears suddenly.
I was about to say, it's barely that.
It was...
Are you just talking about the fact that you have to believe it real, and then once you stop believing, it disappears?
She's an imaginary friend. Yeah, that's the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But she's not just an imaginary friend. She's an imaginary sex doll friend. Because this little degenerate is incapable of seeing human beings outside of boy, gross, girl, bang it.
Yeah, I mean...
She doesn't see people as people, yes.
Yeah, she is not well socialized and is kind of a gross person, yes. So her mentality is, I want friends, but I'm also horny. So I want friends I can have sex with. I don't like men, so I don't want to deal with them at all. They're all against me anyway, because my odd man thing is that everyone hates me.
And all this, I'm fine with it. I'm rolling with it. This could be a setup for a joke or for character development, maybe even both if we're feeling spicy. And she's relaying this background to Setsu. You know, they're up on the roof because, of course, they are. It's a Japanese high school manga trope.
Well, because they're doing fireworks in memory of Armor Girl, who died the second she was no longer necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a whole thing about she literally... I think the manga puts a little too much effort into explaining why Armor Girl was there, because it's like, yeah, it was the belief in it, and that's why she had to wear a suit of armor, because I can't touch my imaginary friend or else it's going to become immediately apparent she's not real. And I'm like, cool, I don't think anyone cared.
Mm-hmm. And so Setsu's like, well, look, I'm still here. We can be friends, maybe even friends with benefits that you want so bad. I'm real and flesh and whatnot. And it's like, okay, well, will you do my fetish thing and let me watch you pee? I'm not really comfortable with that one. And just immediately yeets yourself off the top of the roof.
Yeah, joke was in really poor taste, and I did not.
I fucking loved that joke, and I laughed so hard at this panel.
I've got I have a immediate, reflexive, and intense bad reaction to suicide being used as threat and blackmail for sexual relationships, so I'm gonna recuse myself from the discussion for the moment.
For me, it's literally just a yeet joke.
Yeah. It is just a type of comedic relief that certain individuals, certain people might...
I will point out,
I
feel they do let it drag on too long, because I get the whole thing. It's a 1 beat, 2 beat kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But they do like an entire like soap opera level of like, oh no, she's in the hospital and we needed to go and she's wrapped up in gauze. Like, it's very melodramatic. It's all like...
In other words, she's like back in the hospital again because she's always in the hospital again for stupid shenanigans. And so that was, at least my read of it was supposed to be more of her stupid shenanigans being super melodramatic.
I could have done without the whole hospital bit. I'm fine with the yeeting off the building. And then like the whole deal is like, could you pee for me? And she's like, yes. And she's like, well, I want to film it. And she's like, no, okay, this was weird.
Yeah.
And it kind of just reiterates Choco's the worst because she's the worst. Like,
yeah, the thing for me is suicide isn't funny, and it's like I probably could have handled the first part of the joke. I wouldn't have found it funny. I would have been uncomfortable with it and not liked it. But it's the fact that it keeps going is what bothered me about it.
Thus brings us to the end of our reading. So I know that usually when there's kind of a sexual overtone, I make the thing about how saying the seminal question feels weird, but I'm just going to say the semen question. Favorite character,
yeah,
and...
What a weird way to phrase that for the mostly lesbian romance.
You know what, Matt? Given the amount of...
You know what? You're right. Shiraishi had enough semen for the whole class.
Exactly. Did
any of you read the bonus chapter at the end of...
Yeah, I skimmed it.
I thought it was funny. It was basically them just ranking their boobs, and it confirmed that the sea stars on the Squid Girl
are actually yeah.
Boobs, and they evolved to defend herself in case she lost her shirt.
So yeah, favorite character, and if different, your favorite of the Oddmen that we have met so far. For me, the both answers are the same. It's Shiraishi. And it's like, it's weird because, wow, Sam likes the horny cat girl character. Woo. But as I said, this manga lost me at several points. I spent a lot of this kind of checked out. So it's more like she won by default for being the character I disliked the least. But then the more we talked about it through the episode, the more I recalled the moments I genuinely liked about her. And I don't know, she's a good character. I like her.
I was about to say, Sam, you definitely like Shiraishi because, the collector didn't do anything bad. She's just boring.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why I say, there were the moments where I completely lost my investment. So I'd probably have a lower opinion overall than I reasonably should. But, looking back on it, going over it during the episode, yeah, and Shiraishi I can say is my favorite. I genuinely like her as a character and the situation she causes and perpetuates. She also has the familiarity bonus of being the character that appears the most other than Setsu. So, Jacob, how about you?
Setsu, I think, is the character who has the most, cohesive and interesting relationship with Setsu. Probably Shiraishi would be my favorite character. I feel like there's an actual dynamic there where that's also true for Fujo to a large extent, but boy, they dial her jokes up to 11. Funnily enough, they dial Fujo's jokes up to 11 more so than they do Shiraishi's. Those two in Setsu were definitely top 3, but Shiraishi, I think, is she's the most consistently funny in a sort of dry humor sense. Again, funnily enough. She's the one that I guess more than anything else I found the most memorable. Again, how often she shows up, may factor into that, but that's still also, an important element. Mm-hmm. As for the Oddman powers, honestly, a lot of them, I didn't feel like there was enough into them that I'd care enough to get invested. I guess the only one that really, funnily enough, I sort of took notice of was the fact that Setsu might have powers. It's there's a part of me that's is this gonna actually go anywhere? But boy, do they make it clear no, it's not. So Setsu to give an answer, but not really any of them, truth be told.
Jay, how about you? Favorite character stroke Oddman?
It's an odd phrase, but all right. I was actually a little torn between, I want to say the Streaker and Ika-chan. And I know that the Streaker was kind of front and center with her unrequited love, or we don't know if it's unrequited. That's actually not true. So, I don't know. I really like the complexity of her Oddman traits, and the fact that we were just kind of in an over-sexualized series, just her being butt naked 24/7, completely desexualized in a lot of senses, was very interesting. And somehow she seems, and how she seems.
She's butt naked all the time and seems like the least fetishy one somehow.
Yes, she's the most adult in the room.
It just became mundane.
I mean, if you have that friend who's just always naked, at the shock and awe wears off, and then you're just like, oh, god damn it, don't sit on the couch. Gross.
And then you're more concerned with the fact, oh, wait, I forgot being naked all the time gives you super strength.
Yes. So, she became my favorite just because, I guess, not that I don't enjoy it, but it's just like the overt sexualization kind of got a little dull at points for me. And I'm just like, okay, we get it. We get it. We get it. Everyone Setsu. Oh, breath of fresh air and character who's not totally trying to bone Setsu. That's nice. It's interesting. Let's see where this goes.
Character who genuinely doesn't like Setsu.
So yeah, she is one of my favorites. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That was a rant, but that was what I was trying to say.
Well conveyed. And Matt, favorite character stroke Oddman.
Let's see, who did I like? I'll say Choco is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like her, but I don't think you're supposed to. So good job. I think she fills a need in the like just gross. Like to give some grit to the otherwise hug circle that's forming right now. And then I guess favorite Oddman, I'd go with Ikuta, just because I love her jokes. They're all just dumb dog puns and they all land great. And I guess character-wise, Atami was pretty cool the 2 times he showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that he's got to be involved at some point, but
Theoretically.
well, we read through half of it, so I'm assuming I don't know. At some point, something needs to happen. I do like the note from the author at the end going like, man, I cannot believe this made it to a full volume. And I can respect that.
Yeah. Having made things that got out into the public, it's like, wow, this actually got out into the public. Holy crap. I vibe with that. And then, would you continue reading? Nah, I wouldn't personally. I think I've beaten to death the explanation as to why. So, Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I'd read the hell out of this. This was great. Especially because it's literally only 25 more of these baby chapters, so it's short. I was enjoying the clip it's going, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of dropped off with how much they're focusing on Choco. I'm hoping that's just because this was her arc, and they'll tone down on her as they introduce the other 2 Oddmen and hopefully deal with the sadist. But I don't know. I feel like I enjoyed the comedy enough that I would be okay for another batch of it.
All right, sounds good. Jay, how about you? Would you continue reading?
Probably in a similar boat. As much as I did not, kind of the sexual jokes kind of dragged on at points, and I was just like, it's short enough for me to power through. And I thought it was very reminiscent humor. That I don't get a chance to read that often. So this was kind of refreshing for me.
All right. And Jacob.
There is a part of me that's curious if this is actually going anywhere, but boy, is it upfront about no, it's really not. So probably not. Like the brevity of it and my lingering curiosity is there. I wouldn't hate it if we did another episode of it that forced me to read it. But quite frankly, whilst there were definitely some jokes that I really loved, and there were parts of this that I found really funny, in all honesty, it got really repetitive really fast for me. So I guess it's just not my sense of humor. I wasn't really vibing with the jokes as much.
You know what? Hearing you explain that, I think it gave me the perfect context in which I would be completely fine with reading more of this. If I randomly stumbled across a few pages like on Twitter or Reddit, I wouldn't be mad. In fact, I would read them to see, hey, what's going on in that weird manga these days?
Someone could just clip out the jokes and send them to me.
That's similar BGMG.
Oh.
But yeah, sorry, Jake, I cut you off. Did you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much the long and short of it. I'd do it again for the podcast, but I didn't find it funny enough to go back to it.
So I guess I'll chime in with a little thing. How many of the rest of you have like not seen Scott Pilgrim the movie, but have you read Scott Pilgrim the comic?
I read the first volume.
Because the sex jokes are cranked up to maximum here, but I think like otherwise the kind of vibe of very like down to earth and then wacky nonsense happens is kind of how Scott Pilgrim works, and I can see why that would be like an inspiration for this. And then you've got the mangaka did Voynich Hotel. That's just sex jokes. This guy loves his sex jokes and he'll shove them into whatever he's doing, but that is clearly his humor put into this like very slice of life with like a weird kind of tiered battle thing that doesn't really fit in the setting, but it's not supposed to. It's supposed to feel out of place, kind of.
Yeah, and truth to tell, I haven't consumed Scott Pilgrim in what year is it? Oh god, 12 years. So it is entirely possible that my tastes have changed quite a bit since the last time I consumed something that would be
Adjacent to this.
Scott Pilgrim, you really got to be in the headspace of a whiny, self-centered teenage boy who doesn't give a shit that his selfish actions are hurting the people around him.
Yes. If you have graduated beyond that mentality, then it's going to be painful.
Like, Scott's not a bad guy.
No.
But he's a bad guy. Scott's not a bad guy. He's a shitty friend.
Yes, as they keep shouting at him repeatedly. You are a shitty friend.
We should read Scott Pilgrim on the
We should.
podcast.
We should. If only Netflix was doing some kind of anime based off Scott Pilgrim.
Wait,
I don't know.
I actually don't know if that's still going through.
I would have to get past the art. I've tried to read Scott Pilgrim in the past, and I'm just not a fan of the art.
Oh no, we should read Trinity Blood, a series known for its ridiculously good art.
It has beautiful art. That's not even funny.
Anyway, thank you everyone so much for listening to the Over Manga Cast. As always, you can find us on all of your social medias where we are at Over Manga Cast. This is episode 101. So yeah, we are beginning our next slew of 100 episodes. Make sure to follow us to see all of the next 99.
As always, if you disagree with any of our opinions or, just want to start a fight, fight me. Twitter, at OverMangaCast. Do it. You won't. You can also go on our website, overmangacast.com, where we have a lovely little comment section, which also you can fight me in the comments. Or you can email us, overmangacast@gmail.com. And if you're not feeling especially combative, I don't know why, that's how I live my life, you can also just, casually suggest we read something. We love that, and reviews in any and all forms.
Matt's being particularly violent today. I'm not sure what's up.
This is every day.
Speaking of places where no one ever gets combative, you can also find us on YouTube. Our episodes are on a 2-week delay there, but it's a good way to catch up on our backlog.
And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And tune in next week where we are diving into something completely different. We are going to be reading Parasite, chapters 1 through 16. So get ready for some body horror, and we'll see you all next Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, so no, in order to be an odd man, you need to have some kind of weird social problem. You can't just have superpowers, Sam.
Does being a neat count?
No, unless you were
No.
like some kind of super neat. Or maybe if you were a robot?
Does that get enough tags on eHentai?
No.
Oh, it definitely does. You know what?
Alright.
We're gonna take this to the OnlyFans.
I think we might be onto something here.
Y'all are gross.